Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, we are back, MC Collective, with the first Marvel Spotlight on Disney Plus slash Hulu, if you're nasty. Echo. It's a short watch,
Yeah, very
five
very short.
episodes total. We're going to dive in this today. Of course, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the thing. We appreciate you all. This series was very interesting to me. Overall, I really I surprisingly enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It was better than I really thought it was gonna be. Actress Alako Cox did a great job with conveying just her, and because of course when you can't speak, there's a lot of facial acting that has to go on. And I
Yeah,
mean, she is definitely giving all the expressions
man, boy,
in the
boy,
world, Joe. So
boy.
like shout out to her, man. She did a really awesome job. Also, shout out to the sound design of this show. Really like immersing us into not having a sense of hearing at times and wanting us to really
hmm
put ourselves in a first person perspective.
hmm
And I was like, wow, I didn't even really think about doing it like this. You know what I'm saying? And then of course just the native aspects and how they really fleshed that out into the MCU, especially coming off the heels of What If. And in
Second
that
time they've done
episode,
this now.
yeah, like I
Yeah,
really like how they're integrating real life things in a very fantastical way.
Rashad basically kind of binged it all before I did, and I was like in the middle of the third episode, and we had talked for a second, and he was like, "Hey man, what you think so far?" And I was like, one word description: gritty. Not the dance people, but actually. Like this is a gritty series or whatever, and like you said, with the actress that plays Maya, God Almighty, she was face acting the whole time. I kept saying, "This woman, this character lives for having that dog in her." Period. You
Mm-hmm.
know. Also, too, shout out to the actress that played young Maya. That's actually the older Maya's younger cousin that
For
played her.
real.
And yeah, I
Did
found that
not know
out.
that.
She explained young lady that played young Maya was her real life cousin.
That's
So
dope.
yeah, I enjoyed the series. Like I said, it was quick series, quick 5 episodes. I mean, episodes like what, maybe 40 minutes each, maybe
Yeah, it's like
35
50,
ish.
40,
Yeah,
44, 39, then
yeah.
36.
So it wasn't like, oh, these were 5 episodes that were like an hour, and they try to make them an hour. I would say no. I mean, they kind of the episodes kind of went by fast, and yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you have a great. No, no, seriously though,
Right.
like it's funny because I was watching it and then I was, just thinking about it, the series, and also thinking about
hmm
some of the behind the scenes stuff because
hmm
they reworked a lot of this because before it was going to be weekly drops, probably been like 10 episodes or so, and it would have been just a normal Disney Plus show. I feel like
hmm
you can kind of tell that they did some reshoots. You can
hmm
tell that they cut some storylines out and they added some
hmm
stuff in, namely just like the violence factor. Because if you look at it, it could really easily been a TV 14 show if there
hmm
was like a lack of blood and somebody's getting shot in the face, like
hmm
point blank. Like a lot of stuff was out of it. It could have easily been TV 14. But I think
Yeah.
for their sake, having this TVMA actually made the show better, to be honest. And it
Yeah.
also helps out with um with Kingpin as a character too.
Right.
Because unless this man is gonna be like behind the desk chilling the whole time,
Yeah.
hence of course all spoilers, you know what I'm saying, with the post credit scene on the mid credit scene, he's gonna basically gonna be doing the whole mayoral race in New York. Like
hmm
then that's how he fits in when it comes to Spider-Man 4, if they want to include him in that, because then you have this figure, but you don't have to have him being out of character because he's doing something different. And that's kind of like how like I view the whole like having this TVMA.
Also too with Daredevil, Disney's gonna bring back Daredevil. Bring it in. Let's give a shout out anyway to Vincent D'Onofrio, who does play Kingpin. He before this role, he was most notably known as Private Powell from Full Metal Jacket. That was his
He,
most
he
his.
also was on Law and Order. I think it was Criminal
Mm-hmm.
Intent. Yeah.
Yeah, criminal intent stuff like that. But man, I mean, he has really owned this Kingpin character, going all the way back to Daredevil with Netflix and Defenders, and all of them, and God Almighty, I mean, he just always he did done a great job with this show. One thing that happened in the beginning of the first episode is when the show started. I was like, the hell is this? Because it was
Yes.
so I was so confused. Like I was so confused that I actually had stopped it, went back to make sure, am I watching? Am I watching Echo? Because I was really confused of what was going on because there was like no dialogue. You saw what looked like almost like monsters or people in a cave and stuff like that. He was like, what the hell is going on here? And the next thing you know, the cave starts collapsing, and the beings that were in the cave transition to like the earth realm or whatever, and then you see them shed their skin, and you see that they're indigenous Native Americans, and you was like, oh, okay, but you still had no idea what was going on until it showed that it was basically Maya and her cousin Bonnie, if I'm not mistaken. They was just discussing the origins of their people, their tribe or whatever, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they found a way to give Echo some type of, like I said, Echo, but Maya later on in the series in the finale, where she has like a power. She has a power, and they explain like it's whatever power that her people originated from basically passes on to certain individuals in their tribe, and it's like an echo of all their powers coming together for whatever. So it was weird at first, like what is going on here, and then I was like, okay. By the time the series ended, I said, okay, I think I got it.
Yeah. Because essentially the woman of this it's like the creation story of them, and the woman plays a vital role in
Mm-hmm.
their in their society. And as you can see, each episode is another woman. Like all the episodes are
Mm-hmm.
named after the women who played these
Mm-hmm.
significant parts and had this power like passed down, and it's like direct lineage. Like so essentially like Maya is of direct lineage to Chafa, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
first woman for them.
Mm-hmm.
And which I guess would be like their, I can't even say Eve, would be their like their Adam figure. So
Yeah.
and each direct lineage, this power gets passed down, and Maya's powers were kind of latent. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't really know
Mm-hmm.
she had them, didn't use them until she realized she was having all these like weird visions of the past, and like her like even like okay, one of the strongest parts of this show has to be the familial part of this. And
Okay.
I was very happy that they explored this. I wish they would, like, you could tell they cut a lot of that stuff out. Like they could have had
Yeah.
way more time to even explore it more. But for what they
Mm-hmm.
have, like, I really like the relationship between like her and her little cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just how like impressionable and goofy and small town he is. Like he ain't never been nowhere, and I'm gonna help my cousin who came to New York and came back home, even though it's the
Right.
dumbest thing. He knows wrong, but I'm still gonna
Yeah.
help because even his grandma was like, "Yo, what was that man's name?"
A
I forgot his
biscuit.
yeah, yeah, Biscuit. And she
Biscuit.
was like, Biscuit is dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, Biscuit is impressionable, which is like a real nice way to say this boy is an ass and he's gonna listen to what
Yeah.
anybody say. So that
Yeah.
whole relationship, I wish they could have explored her relationship with her cousin Bonnie some more. It's Bonnie, right?
Yeah.
I wish I could explore that some more because it was cool to kind of see her stay around. She's still helping. She's a firefighter. So there was a whole story there too. We got Unc.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I guess it's her uncle.
When
Who's
the
like,
when the what did it say? What she said? What the mama said? One of them Lopez boys. I told you don't marry one of them.
One
One
of
of
them
them Lopez
Lopez
boys.
boys. Yeah, so
Them
Unc there
Lopez
still,
boys.
you know what I'm saying, still, pushing out weight through Oklahoma.
Yeah, right. I don't like that. I don't like
I'm
that.
about to drop a dime
I
on
don't like
that.
that one bit. You can drop a dime on that for my belly,
The
for
whole
our
time I was
belly
watching
folks.
this show, like I was thinking about Kanye verse. Her master
Yeah,
thoughts leaving her all behind. Like,
yeah.
oh man. Anyway,
I
this
mean,
this
that's basically what she did. I mean,
she definitely ran back home to Oklahoma. I'm sorry, she drove a
right.
bike back home to Oklahoma with a stab wound. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Girl was bleeding out on the
Baby
bike.
girl was about to pass out on the bike. She always was like, "Oh shit!"
You know, was like,
She's about to pass out on that motorcycle, boy. Yeah, It really, this show I think also did a good job on touching on how important family can be to people and how miscommunication can kind of tear a family apart. Because in the beginning, when we see how Maya loses her leg and her mother dies at the same time, she get the same time, which is horrible. Her and Bonnie was outside in a little tent having a little camping thing, and it was about to start raining, and it was like, hey, they came in, it was like, hey, do you got this and that? It was like, no. She was like, you got hot cocoa? So I won't have no more. And she was like, all right. Mom was like, all right, come with me, we'll go to the store and get it. And it was the whole trip, it was a dark and stormy night, and it was dark, storm, rainy night and stuff, and got in a car accident, and you saw like it was a piece of the truck that she was in impaled the lower
Yeah,
half of her
I didn't know
leg.
if it was glass or like
Right, yeah. I was
metal, but
like,
either
God
way,
dang.
that lower
Right.
leg
And
gone.
because they got hit by another truck and the mother passed away. And it's like, Maya was showing she had that dog back then because she won't cry or flinch. And she just turned with this, shard in her leg, like impaled through her leg, and looking at her mother's passed away. And then when they get to the hospital, you see that her leg's been amputated already with her father from Hawkeye, who got killed by Hawkeye when he was the Ronin. And you see like Bonnie's grandmother come, and she's like blaming him because the brake lines were actually cut on the truck. We never find out who cut the brake lines on the truck. It's a few things on this. Let's talk about this real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay,
There's a few things on this show for me that I'm like, well, how did this happen? Like, number one, we never found out who cut the brake lines on the truck. Number two, and probably my biggest thing, and maybe I missed it, but you can help me out, Rashad. How did Kingpin get his eye back?
Oh man, that's a good question. Unless
Mm-hmm.
unless one is like three options tops. One, and I think this is gonna be the obvious one. Maya really didn't shoot that man in the eye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it might have grazed off of
Grazed
him.
them or like it just, I don't know. Secondly, Kingpin rich. And this also is the MCU. Maybe that grew that man another eye. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Because you see how like, and that's like the tech that's on his, like the bandage on his face has some sort of tech in it as well. Because when he comes up, it's like glowing and lighting up and stuff. It's not just like,
okay. I thought I was tripping when I saw that.
No. That had, because it happened more than once.
Right.
And then the third reason is it's a TV show. So
it's a TV show, right?
Yeah, but like either way, like I knew like that man was gonna have an eye. They're not gonna have him wrapped up and bandaged up, even though like I like how they got the whole scar there showing like he got hit in the face somewhere, but like you don't really don't really know how. But yeah, they answer that.
Right. They didn't answer, they didn't answer that. And then two, I know I gave a description of what their powers are, what her powers is a little bit, but they really didn't go into any detail of for real what exactly her powers. But she had her hands glowing, and it's like she was like, "You got that glow." She had the glow in her hands, and then what in the climactic part of the final episode, she was able to pass it on to like pass some of that power on to her grandmother and her cousin to have them help out. And I was just like, what's going on with that? And I guess the final thing is it was no another excuse me, another they didn't at the end of the episode, but in the final battle with her and Kingpin, they didn't really say what she did to him for him to just be like, yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like when she got him on his knees and she put the little thing in, and I know she was trying to get him in his mind to like, hey, give up that anger and hate that he had, he was still holding on to from when he killed his father because how his father treated. But they never really was like, okay, next thing he just comes back, he's like, what did you do to me? And he
Got
just
it.
gets in the car and just drives off.
I got it. I got it. This is the parallel to Tony's barf AI, but done in a very spiritual way because she went into his mind, took him in the past, and she was there with him in the
Mm-hmm.
past, trying to say, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
look, you did this heinous thing, but like you're gonna have to allow yourself to forgive yourself." You know what I'm saying? Because in
Mm-hmm.
defense, you was trying to care for your mom. You know what I'm saying? And you
Mm-hmm.
took it as a kid as his power thing, and then your
Mm-hmm.
mom, like if you remember back into the actual series, was like, "Hey, let's hide his body, big dog." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that whole dynamic is like, so Fisk can't let that anger go. You know why? Because that's who Kingpin is. If he ain't got no, if it,
Yes.
Kingpin without no rage is just a big fat white man. You know what I'm saying? He gotta have that rage in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, that was just some things I was just like, so we're not going to explain. Like they really did not explain what happened to him. You saw, like I said, you went into her, spiritual form of the barf technology, and next thing you know, she came out of it. He was stumbling in the car. What did you do to me?
it
And
shook
I was
him.
just like,
Like it
yeah,
shook him to his
his
core. You know what I'm
core.
saying?
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the thing too was she realized that I can't kill this man because one, I shot this man in the face and he's still living. And then two, me
He
killing
made me who I
him,
was. Yeah.
yeah, me killing him is not going to really prove anything.
Yeah.
It's like the moralistic point of the whole series because she has to
Yeah.
let her anger go. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even though in her attempts to protect her people, she really isn't hurting them. You know what I'm saying? So like that whole thing of forgiveness and family,
And you saw she said she was like, "Yo, you still my uncle. Like you raised me, my dude. Like I want she. It's like she wanted better for him." I'll tell you the funniest scene in the episode for me. The funniest scene was the flashback of
Man,
Maya coming out.
I was about to say the same thing.
Maya coming out the school, and she goes, I guess, to the ice cream man, and she's trying to, get ice cream, and the man doesn't sign and don't understand why she can't talk, and he's being a jerk about it, and she's like, it's funny because she's like pointing at where he's like, I don't understand that. And she was
He
kind of,
said,
she was
use
like, I
your
don't.
words.
He says, use your word. I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
And Kingpin is in his limo, like seeing all this shit, seething. And then he's like, hey, just wait right here real quick. And he drags this dude into the alley, beats the living hell out of him. And then he gets all this blood on his white. Kingpin always wearing a fresh white suit, by the way. Always. And he calls, he calls whoever his assistant is, hey, give me a fresh jacket. I don't want Maya to see it. And he looks up and Maya is staring at him down the alley. And he's like, it's gonna be okay, Maya. You gotta understand. Maya just strolls up to the dude that's already like half beaten to death. And she starts kicking the hell out of her.
Kingpin said, I know this ain't who I think it is.
This is what I think. He was like, yo, Maya had that dog in her from day one, yo. Like
I was crying when it
I was
happened, yo.
laughing. So, like I seriously, no lie, I rewinded that thing like 3 times. I was like, hold on, because it was just how them kicks came, and she, it then just walked away, just walked away, all like nothing happened here.
Kingpin was
You
like,
know, very Kingpin-ish, man. Yeah, so
yep, you money's for real now, yo.
yeah. So you know, he basically like he basically groomed her to almost seem like he wanted her to take over everything, and I think she even felt it because, you know, the first part of the series, she was trying to like send a message to be like, I'm gonna be in charge now. Because remember, her uncle was like, hey man, what are you doing? You can't, like, because I think everyone thought he was dead. No one, you know, so they thought the Kingpin was dead because even the uncle's little lackey at the skate shop called and said, hey, I got the king killer. You know what I'm saying? The king killer is here or whatever. And like, you know, after she blew up, which that scene was hilarious as well, too, that train ride scene. After she blew up like their weapons depot, armory or whatever, and she was like, he was like, hey man, what are you doing? You know, these people follow the kingpin. She was like, well, maybe, and she signed back, well, maybe they need a queen pin. I was like, a party ain't a party. Let me stop.
I'm about to say no diggity, no doubt. You know
No
what I'm
doubt.
saying?
So yeah, so she wanted that power, as you know what I'm saying, as well. So yeah, yeah, man. This show was this show was funny.
I forgot she was on that song with the Lost Boys. Anyway, yes, but not there was some scenes and situations in this that again really lends towards it being TVMA. And it just was like, man, like I like the show. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, there's some people out here who's like not a fan of this show at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just interesting. Because they're saying, oh, this the writing was lazy, they didn't care about the character. I'm like, yo, like, I don't know what y'all was expect. I'm not really sure what expectations y'all be having for this stuff, but like
Rashad, can we go ahead and stop being nice and call it what it is?
okay.
It's a bunch of dudes who hate women.
I don't even know if they hate women. It's just I think that everybody's on this Marvel is dying wave.
Yeah.
And I'm
well,
like,
one of my coworkers was saying the same thing.
I'm
she
be
felt
honest,
she's a woman.
I'm okay. I'm keeping receipts of all these naysayers right now because when something pops off and is great, I'm gonna let a naysayer know. You know what I'm saying? And
you said it was dying.
Yeah, hey, don't hop back on now. You know what I'm saying? Like I need you to keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? But these be also Tony. These also be the same people who love Rebel Moon. So like y'all already lost credibility with me anyway, bro. Like get out of thine face.
Just know that we see you and something fire drops. Don't be like, oh man, Marvel. Nope. You know how we gonna be? Daddy, I know that ain't who I think it is. That's exactly that little big brother. Nope. We ain't trying to hear that nonsense because there's a lot of people, like you said, have written Marvel off for whatever reason. I think this was a good series, a good, a good fun series to watch. Now, what's my question always, Rashad, when it comes to stuff like this?
What's the bigger
Where
picture?
are we going? Where are we going? And what is this leading to?
And that leads me up back to the, like I was saying before at the beginning about Wilson Fisk being the mayor of New York. Wilson Fisk being the mayor of New York during Phase 6 could be one of the greatest revelations for them because you can have him in Spider-Man 4, you can have him in Fantastic Four, you can have him in so much stuff, even if he's an ancillary background character. Just Kingpin's presence in New York fundamentally changes New York City. Since NYC is always like a focal point in the MCU, New York City is about to be hella different if they have Kingpin being the mayor.
You know, it was giving me vibes too of when that mid credit scene when he turned the volume up on the news, and it was like, who can come in here and do this? Need somebody outside of the. You know who it was giving me vibes of, don't you? And I'm not even trying to make this political.
Nah, it
It
was
was giving
hella
me
Trump
vibes.
vibes. You
It
know what I'm
was
saying?
very
Like,
Trump, Donald Trump vibe. Because that was one thing why some people, you know what I'm saying, for good or for worse, that people followed behind Trump because they felt, well,
he's
he's not part of the
anti-establishment. He's not a
anti-side,
politician.
right?
He
He's
speaks
not
his
part of the political set.
mind. He's a man
Mm-hmm.
of the people. Like all
Mm-hmm.
those things. Even though, like, unlike Kingpin, who is all those things for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta believe got gotta believe the story. And
Mm-hmm.
Kingpin, with his like very stated yet authoritative voice,
Mm-hmm.
easily encapsulate the people with what he's going to say. You know what I'm saying? It's always
Mm-hmm.
Maya,
Maya,
Vanessa.
Vanessa, or better yet, you saw how the cops ain't do jack ish
No,
when
he did just
in the
walk through that scene
episode.
like he's a
Right,
cop.
when they was about to arrest
Excuse me.
Maya because she was still in a motorcycle, and they had the scene. You know, the cops. You know, they put the perimeter around the scene and stuff. He gets out his car. He starts walking up. You got one, I guess you could say, rookie cop who's like, "Hey," and one dude said, "Do you know who the hell that is?" Like, He just goes up to the cops, take the handcuff off her. Let's go. I said, "Yo, what?" I said, "This
so
dude,
so 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 he already run the city.
yeah,
So him being mayor
yeah."
is also Kingpin, heinous man. They had this lady out here doing sign for him for like 5 years.
And he
after
killed
she
it.
after he was like, oh man, yo, like all these meetings we gonna have, rap on that. When they walked the
Yeah,
lady to the side and I saw the daggone
plastic
yeah, they
bag.
had the plastic on the
Yeah,
thing. I said, you about to shoot
yeah,
that lady. It
right.
had
And
her
she's like,
screaming for her life.
right. And they still had dinner like nothing was wrong. Well, of course, Maya couldn't hear it, but it still was having dinner. You know, saying dinner like, look, can I say something? How that technology was crazy with the
Oh
with the contact with the
yeah,
contact lens.
that was really dope. Like even
I
though
got a
like at the
question.
go ahead,
Do you think that something like that is being developed somewhere or
would not be
anything like that?
surprised because if
Yeah.
it's a thought here, then somebody else has already had that thought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a real dope idea. I can't even lie. But
Yeah,
also the
yeah,
fact
that
that
is.
he knew this girl since she was 8 years old and never took the time to learn
Mm-hmm.
ASL. That's like that's the
That's
even
some lazy.
sadder
That's
part.
some lazy. I don't give it. Yeah, that's some
Cause she
lazy.
cause
I
she
don't
was
give a
like,
touch.
you ain't even invested in me. You ain't even learn ASL. Heck is wrong with
Right.
you?
And on top of that, like he looked at her like that was his daughter, like not
Yes.
even his niece or his daughter. But he felt like he was more of a father to her than
And
her
his
actual.
her daddy was, which is
You know
crazy.
what I'm saying? One of them Lopez boys was. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like what they did with the character of Maya, but I appreciate so much more building along in the MCU the mythos that is the Kingpin.
Yeah. I think how they interwove them together and
Mm-hmm.
how they also separated them at the end. Like it just and plus like him being mayor gives him a new outlet. You know what I'm saying? Because you already know going back to Daredevil Netflix how much invested he is in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Like out of all the even though he's a trash person, for some odd reason, he loves New York. Just like most New
Mm-hmm.
Yorkers, super in love, especially
Mm-hmm.
like you from the actual city. I don't know about like,
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo. Well, I'm shout out West Side and the gang.
Yeah.
They love Buffalo. But
So
anyway,
here's a question before we get ready to go. When do you think the next time we see both?
I think we see Kingpin in like I said, either Fantastic Four or Spider-Man 4. Easy.
Okay.
I think he's coming back soon. Also, more than likely, next thing we're gonna see him in Daredevil. We may
Okay.
see a quick cameo of
Of her.
Echo in Daredevil, but I know for certain I feel like he's gonna
He
have a
definitely.
larger role in the MCU moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's a major MCU He's a major MCU with Marvel player as far as
Yeah,
the
and
Kingpin, and
especially
I'm
because
happy.
I already
And
know he's like really like a Spider-Man villain. So
right.
hopefully MCU and Sony can play nice
Yeah.
because we need that. That would be dope. Just like Spider-Man the
Yeah.
animated series. But yeah, I hope you guys saw Echo. If not, we really didn't give a whole lot of plot because we just want to talk about it. It was just a fun watch. But yeah,
Yeah.
go back, watch it. Definitely leave a comment about something that you may have seen that we didn't talk about, or something that resonated with you about the whole like native aspects, or even
Yeah.
Kingpin. Either way, let us know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just as a quick FYI, I just finished Monarch Legacy and Monsters. I might get on tomorrow or Sunday, or I don't know, MLK Day. Shout out MLK, and just talk about the series because I really enjoyed Monarch Legacy and Monsters. It was a good watch. Apple TV Plus, man, get on that. But yeah, or just find it online. You guys know what to do. So either way, we will see you guys pretty soon.
What's
Man,
the
we
next
about to.
thing?
I don't even know. We about to get busy, because all the
Yeah.
new shows is about to pop off. But yeah,
Yeah.
till the next time.
Subscribe, like.
Yes, sure.